Hello, friends. The task of producing beautiful marketing photos, making a large brightness for a tactical flashlight is not particularly tricky. But the difficulty is often to make the flashlight actually convenient and working well both in terms of control and in terms of the duration of the light, and in its quality, so that it does not turn green. Let's see if it turned out to be more screwed up like many others. As usual, the packaging is elegant, the design with a graph, reliability, giftedness, everything is on top. But the kit is quite short and there is only the minimum necessary. That is, the flashlight itself is 5000 mAh, 2700 battery with a built-in charging connector, the charging cable for it, manual, O-rings. And the case and the strap have disappeared somewhere. Penny things, surprisingly they are not in a fairly expensive flashlight. Then here I do not understand the position of Acebeam, to be honest. The battery, as I said, is the same as usual, with a built-in charging connector. I would prefer the charging connector in the body of the flashlight itself, but this is purely a matter of taste. Looking ahead, at 18 it already exists and I will tell you about it in the next review. 17 is a fairly large tactical flashlight or a completely medium-sized long-range flashlight. For comparison, there are also Acebeam lanterns nearby. It can be seen that he is not particularly big. As for the design, tactical flashlights with rare exceptions, this is a category of flashlights that does not shine with an exquisite design. And it's the same here. He looks just nice. Undoubtedly, this is a branded flashlight, but outwardly it is likely to be lost in a row with the same rib-toothed, aggressive black flashlights. I am glad that matte anodizing was chosen from BIM. I think that in the vast majority of cases it looks much better glossy. P17 is controlled by a standard bundle from the tail of the on-off button and the button next to it that switches the brightness, gives instant access to the strobe, to the SOS. What is interesting is that this button here is initially located at an angle and fits perfectly under the thumb pad. Of course, with this control, there is an additional sleeve inside the main body for transmitting a signal from the button. And I can only say thank you to Acebeam that, unlike a light and night core, they do not solve this problem with the help of an expensive native battery, but use a traditional and time-tested approach. The thread is perfectly lubricated. The flashlight, by the way, is disassembled into 3 parts. However, it is unlikely that you will have to disassemble it. The knurling is not particularly deep, but the grip is actually comfortable. The clip is double-sided, it sits tight and honestly, even in my opinion, it sits too tight. Of course, there is a spring on the side of the head, on the side of the tail. If desired, you can put a flashlight under the gun. Although I think here from BIM L35 would be more justified. The head is medium-sized with excellent ribbing. I don't think it will be of any use in turbo with such brightness, but for the younger modes, the size of the head of the ribs should be sufficient for cooling to have an effect. But let's check this further. The bezel is in the spirit of the L19 of the second generation, already black. In general, it looks nice. Basili's teeth are wide, not particularly evil. Cullet balls are inserted into their tops. Also, by the way, there is a thread for a light filter. You can also buy it together with a flashlight, pay $10 or $15 on top there. The reflector, as you can see, is textured and relatively deep. And at its bottom is a screen with XHP73 LEDs. There is nothing new here at the basic level of management. Convenient good management without any such oh look what we came up with. And then you think, fuck you with such ideas, and give normal management. But if you dig a little deeper, there are 3 different modes and I like it. Strobes were banished from the usual, SOS and Firefly were left, and for tactical, in fact, only strobes were left. But I don't see any sense in the second tactical mode. It's just high-mid-low. High-mid-low. Well, stupid mode. It is quite possible that it will be changed. At least I'm discussing this point with the manufacturer right now. The brightness is stable. The flashlight shines for a very long time at very serious brightness. A minute and a half in a turbo without cooling is generally gorgeous. I immediately recall the 5-second turbo bursts of some tactical flashlights from very large brands, too. And in high mode, in the presence of cooling, that is, on the street there somewhere with a breeze, it generally turns out very cool. From a flashlight, you can survive everything that he is capable of. Well, the most common mode is average. It will last the whole evening. This light will be enough for you to work indoors, as a footlight outdoors. Well, you will see it further. You will have more than 5 hours on this brightness. Wonderful. Throw 1 or 2 more batteries in your pocket and that's it. At night, you completely cover all the needs for light. The light here, alas, is cold. The XHP73 has even warmer versions, but the manufacturer said that they are not available for purchase. A pity. With 4 and 5000 Kelvin, it would be super at all. Actually, the notified version of this LED has an advantage in the form of a longer range compared to the HP72. And characteristically, here we beat P17, he is smaller in head size than L35, and the light is quite close to the latter. But I like the light of L35 a lot more, just by the color temperature, and by the light distribution. In general, these models are relatively similar in light distribution, but in terms of management they will still differ in their goals. In general, the difference in GIFs is quite clear, I think. Once again, I appreciate L35 very much. I think that this flashlight is generally one of the best average fights that I have seen, as well as L18 among the truckers. I highly recommend these two flashlights to you. They just cover all the needs for light at a distance of kilometers. SB L35 and 18. Haven't watched the review? If, then take a look. These are cool flashlights. Anyway, in terms of range there are 200 meters, this is already close to the limit of the usefulness of the light of this flashlight. Another thing is that in this radius it will highlight everything. Well, for 300 meters, even a turbo is of little use, and it would be surprising to see something different with such optics and an LED. It's just unreal. What to hide? I highly appreciate everything that Acebeam do. Their flashlights look great, have convenient operation without any clumsiness, crutches, and shine well. The exception is the rarest. And even they cannot be called unsuccessful models, they are just not bad against the background of excellent other flashlights. And he was no exception. It is stylish, bright, and has proved to be really easy to manage, at least for ordinary home purposes. There's everything I'd like to get. I do not undertake to judge the tactical application, but there is an instant sling here, and there is both from the off and excluded state. A lot of very dangerous looking tactical flashlights give you a sling only from the off state. Well, there are 3 lines of different modes. This is also, in fact, not bad. They switch very simply. In general, they didn't overdo it with the management here, it's good. As for the light, the grandfather reflector does its job. With the large size of the LED and the relatively small size of the reflector, 17 of them are sure to close 200 meters, and they somehow can finish off up to 300 meters. And most importantly, the flashlight will shine not only far enough, but also for a long time. What I didn't like, well, I would like to see the charging built into the body of the flashlight, and not charge the battery. But it's a matter of taste, actually. And it's really strange that there is no cover and a lanyard in the kit of a frankly not cheap flashlight. This is some kind of game. It seems like a trifle, yes, you can buy it, but it's just really strange. In general, if the issue of tactical manual use with all sorts of strobes is not acute for you and you can afford a small increase in the size of the head, I would recommend taking the L35 as a hunting rifle or just a handheld flashlight. Here it is nicer in terms of color temperature. And with a BIM of 17, he wins with smaller sizes and more flexible, convenient from the position of tactical use of a bundle to control 2 buttons on the tail. Well, then it's up to you to decide what is more important. In the description of the video, under the review, there are links to stores where you can buy, to a channel in the Telegram that will help you save money with these and other purchases. There are all promo codes, coupons. Bye, friends.